We will have much more from the tiny community of Rachel Nevada at 6:30. Reporting live, we'll tell
So, the meme-tastic Area 51 alien raid happened just this past week, after months of it being hyped up online by internet jokesters and nerds. At least I can relate to that last part. The event happened, a few hundred people actually showed up, and thankfully, no one got hurt. Everyone seemed to have a good time from how I see it. I understand that a lot of people in my age group have a fascination with extraterrestrials. From what we understand about life in our universe currently, it seems pretty odd to think that there is intelligent life somewhere out there. It's just as odd to have a fascination for it too. And I'm speaking about this as one of those people. I love science fiction, and I like a lot of the fandom that it has. It's the same with fantasy, popular culture, speculative fiction, nerd, geek culture, whatever. There are some nasty people out there for sure, but those that behave and are earnest about what they like, they are fine by me. I do understand that some of the people that participated in this Area 51 phenomenon probably did it in irony. For the memes, one might say. That's fine when you're not trying to hurt anyone, but was there a point in all of this? What were we trying to accomplish? Did we do it to annoy our boomer parents? Were we expecting to harbor alien harems of the most exotic quality? I love that sentence. Did we want to give high fives and drink beers with E.T.? Whatever the case may be, the topic of extraterrestrials and fandom culture has been conjoined to each other for almost a century now. I couldn't help but think of one film that kind of perfectly encapsulated this entire thing. So does anybody remember Paul?
Hi, I'm Paul.
No, I'm talking about the 2011 film. It's a flick that seems like it should have at least a cult following, but I have not heard anybody bring it up at all. It's surprising considering the talent attached to it. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, yes, that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, from films like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, play two British science fiction aficionados taking a trip through the American desert to visit UFO and alien-related tourist sites. Their bromantic escape is interrupted when a green alien, named Paul, shows up asking for help in trying to escape some government agents to return to his home planet E.T. style. Antics ensue, and the characters learn more about Paul and his low-key impact on popular culture and learn from the experience themselves, I'd say. Judging from the premise, yep, Paul is something akin to The Big Bang Theory and similar works. It's about nerds.
Get those nerds! Nerd! Nerd!
It takes fandom culture and pokes fun at it. What sets it apart from things like The Big Bang Theory and even Fanboys, released just a few years prior, is that it doesn't seem to have any disdain for what it's poking at, or at least a sour attitude in doing so. Paul lampoons things like sexuality and speculative fiction, nerd collectibles and similar ephemera, that sort of thing. I feel like it's having fun with acknowledging how weird and silly this stuff is, which it is, but it doesn't seem to hate on it completely, or on its characters for being into it. That's just the backdrop. The film is about a road trip with a stereotypical alien. The alien of the title, Paul, is a decent character. He's a good special effect, and he is sort of a jerk, but he doesn't come off as a bad guy. He's very likable. While he's having a fun time on his mission, the stakes feel validated and it works. Some of the humor is at the expense of the human co-stars reacting to the alienness of Paul, but it doesn't really feel uncomfortable or harmfully outlandish.
How come I can understand you? Are you using some sort of neural language router?
Actually, I'm speaking English, you idiot. I understand this must be very weird for you.
That is Seth Rogen voicing Paul, by the way. It's a well-written movie too, in addition to being a good comedy. I've been in conversations like the ones in this movie. Ever had someone list an author or film director's work like you are even remotely familiar with what they're talking about?
Who the hell is Adam Shadowchild?
Oh, he wrote the Venusian Pangenesis.
I didn't read that one.
Jenny Starpepper and the Great Brass Hen?
No.
I used to be that person. I mean, I've been in those conversations. Who even the heck is John Carpenter, and what even is The Thing? You mean to tell me that The Thing is one of the greatest science fiction horror movies ever made and one of the best movies Kurt Russell has ever been in? Next you'll tell me it was a remake of a 1950s film based off of a book about a shape-shifting alien in the Antarctic trying to kill a team of researchers. Or that it bombed at the box office or was reviled by critics when it first came out. That's dumb. Maybe that's a piece of the appealing Paul pot pie. The film is largely about science fiction fandom, but it's about the people that partake in that culture. Paul himself as well. Pegg and Frost are, in a way, aliens themselves in this movie. They are British, but they're also British nerds. Nerds trekking, haha, I know, across America where there are people that don't understand what they have going on, nor their appreciation for things like extraterrestrial life or sci-fi stories. The film gives off the notion that, yeah, these things are weird, but you're not necessarily a weird or bad person for liking or doing these things. Paul also has a subplot tackling Christian fundamentalism of all things.
The world is 4,000 years old and can only be the product of intelligent design.
That's horse.
It doesn't bother me all that much, but considering how the movie was advertised and how it only occurs like halfway through the film, it seems a bit jarring considering how the film decides to handle it. It's worth talking about definitely, but I don't find it bad. It's just a bit odd in how the film goes about it versus what the film is trying to sell me on at first. A lot of Paul is worth exploring in another video. Yeah, we can make it happen. Paul is a good movie, but I feel it's missing just a little bit something to truly make it the best that it can be. I've seen films that are like that. I've seen films like that this year. Fans who really enjoyed Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz would be disappointed that it doesn't quite feel like those films. Edgar Wright didn't even direct this. It was directed by Greg Mottola, the director behind Superbad. Paul was an American and British co-production that feels like a comedy like Superbad with elements from films like Shaun and Fuzz. That doesn't immediately sound like everyone's thing, but even with its flaws, I think Paul is worth watching at least once. Anything's better than Big Bang, right?